was the darkest family moment that nobody talks about anymore? There's a moment in my family's past that nobody talks about, not even in whispers. It was never officially confirmed. No one was arrested, and no one ever confessed. But everyone knows what happened. We just act like we don't. It happened when I was 11. During the summer, we moved back into my dad's childhood home. It was this big, worn down Victorian house in rural Pennsylvania, surrounded by woods on three sides and a dirt road that barely led anywhere. The kind of place that looked beautiful in the fall, but gave you this tight, cold feeling in your stomach all the time. The house had been in our family for generations, passed down and patched up over and over. When we moved in, it was technically empty. My great uncle Martin had been the last one living there, but he died the previous winter from what they called a heart issue. He was in his 70s, lived alone, never married. Just a quiet old man with bad teeth and worse eyesight. I only met him once when I was 5. He gave me a plastic army man with a missing leg and said, he still fights. That was about the extent of our relationship. Anyway, after Uncle Martin died, my dad inherited the house. We moved in that June. Almost immediately, strange things started happening. Not supernatural stuff, but weird human things. Like there was a locked door in the basement we weren't allowed to open. My dad put a new padlock on it and told us it was just a crawl space that was unsafe. But even as a kid, I could tell he was lying. He said it too quickly, too confidently. My mom didn't even look at us when he said it. Then there was the smell. The whole basement had this old, metallic scent like rust and damp wood. But near the locked door, it was worse. Sharper, like old meat and bleach. One night, maybe a month after we moved in, I went downstairs for laundry and heard something behind that door. A voice. A woman's voice. Raspy, soft, like someone trying to hum through a sore throat. I froze. I remember every hair on my arms standing up. I told myself it was just the old pipes. I told myself a lot of things that summer. Fast forward a couple weeks. My cousin Lydia came to stay with us for a few days. She was 17, my favorite cousin, and way braver than me. When I told her about the voice and the smell, she decided we had to investigate. Classic horror movie mistake, right? Well, we did. That night, after my parents went to bed, Lydia and I snuck into the basement. We used a hairpin to pick the padlock. She'd watched YouTube tutorials and was way too good at it. The door creaked open like something out of a horror film. Behind it was a narrow, concrete passage leading into what looked like a second basement. A room no one had mentioned. No blueprints, no reference, nothing. Inside was, I don't even know how to describe it. There was a mattress on the floor, yellowed and stained. A single light bulb hanging from cord. A table with old restraints, leather straps bolted into the wood. A rusted drain in the middle of the concrete floor. And on the wall, dozens of Polaroid photos. Most of them were faded, water-damaged, or scratched, but you could make out faces. Girls, mostly teens. Some of them were tied up. Some were smiling. Some looked terrified. I remember Lydia whispering, "What the F asterisk asterisk is this?" before grabbing my hand and pulling me back upstairs. We didn't sleep that night. She made me swear not to say anything until she figured out what to do. The next morning, she told my parents. My mom went pale and just left the room. My dad stared at her for a long time. Then he locked the basement door again, this time with a new deadbolt. Later that night, my dad made Lydia leave. Told her she was stirring up ghosts that weren't hers to stir. I never saw her again. Seriously. Her parents moved her to another state by the end of the month, and we stopped getting their Christmas cards that year. My dad said she was going through something and to leave it alone. But here's where it gets worse. A few months later, a local newspaper ran a short piece about historical remains found in a well on our property. They've been uncovered by a surveyor crew clearing dead brush for power lines. The article said the bones were likely early 20th century, maybe remnants from the Spanish flu era. They didn't even get tested. But I know what they were. Lydia knew too. That well was right behind the house. The same place I saw my dad digging one night when he thought I was asleep. To this day, my family has never acknowledged what was in that room. My parents pretend they don't remember the door ever being unlocked. When I asked about it again in college, my dad told me, sometimes Families carry things so dark they forget them to survive. Let sleeping sins lie. I don't know if it was Uncle Martin who did those things, or if it was someone before him, but someone did, and now we just live with it, quietly, like we always have.